Hello again, everyone. Please sit tight for another minute or so, and then we will get rolling with the weekly update. So if you have any questions, please put them in the chat or the Q&A. And without further ado, I'll turn this over to Jeff Walzak.
All right, thanks, Ken, and we'd like to
Here's what I found.
welcome everybody, and thanks for spending some time with us today, and let you know that eTruckBiz is not endorsed, sponsored, or anything like that by FedEx Corporation. So we want to start out by telling you about the cool thing that Becca wants to tell you about, hopefully.
Yeah, thank you. So the business support system was basically created due to managing a FedEx-based transportation business is tough. We know that. Between balancing operations, profitability, administration, and compliance, it can be very overwhelming. So that's where eTruckBiz comes in. Much more than just software, we're your partner in business success. So our all-in-one business support system helps you streamline operations, improve performance, simplify compliance, and eliminate time-wasting tasks. That is what makes eTruckBiz unique. It's our hands-on approach. We provide operations guidance, personalized financial analysis, and tailored administrative support you won't find elsewhere. With access to industry insights, real-time data, and expert resources, you can cut costs, boost efficiency, grow your business, and bottom line. So if you're interested in joining the hundreds of contractors that transform their business with eTruckBiz, please visit our website, or you can always email me at becca@etruckbiz.com. We can book a session and get started, and I can tell you all about how we can help you.
You can tell us how we can get started?
Yes, can you go to the next slide?
Yes.
So what we would do then is we would just build a free business plan that's going to start with your standard budget, and then we go and create the expense plan, and we come up with a strategy or the business plan based on our findings. So we're going to see what you're budgeted for versus your actual expenses and compare, come up with a plan, how we can boost your numbers and whatnot.
Okay. Very cool. And to get a hold of Becca, she already told us her email address, but here it is again. Or you can go to etruckbiz.com. What is the BSS? Okay, every week, as everybody knows, we want to take a look at the volume, what happened last week compared to the dismal Memorial Day week. And the good news is, there you go, pickup stops back in action above the trend line. Pretty big move back up. And that trend line is positively sloped, so we're up over last year. And in fact, on the delivery side, same thing. We moved back to the trend line. That trend line is about a 7-ish% slope to it, so that's actually pretty good, even though we had a bad Memorial Day week. And look at that productivity. Oh no, back down to the flat trend line. Want to say something about that, Ken?
Yeah, don't give up what you've worked hard for. That's because when we got to that 103 mark, yes, you got to do some training, but don't give up what you worked so hard for. Encourage you to continue to look. And where we see it is the low volume dispatches. 18 stops, 22 packages. 8 stops, 12 packages. Those are the ones you got to eliminate.
It's tough, but needs to be done, right?
Yes.
Okay, there's some news items this week. First thing is, some people have asked in the past, hey, what's going on with the tariff situation, the port volume? It does look like at some point there was some containers and whatnot that didn't go out, and that's starting to catch up with the port volume. So this particular report here says that port volume might be getting a little soft. However, on the rail side, we're still up 3.3% year over year. So it's conflicting news there. I guess probably in the end, it may not be that much of an effect at all. We'll see. Another thing that happened here yesterday, I think it was, FedEx board announced an increase to the quarterly dividend. Those of you that are shares out there, Merry Christmas. The board of directors of FedEx today approved an increase in the annual dividend rate on FedEx Corp common stock of 5%, or 28 cents per share to 5.80 per share for fiscal 26, in line with the company's continued focus on delivering stockholder value. So that's good. Now, the thing about this is, people say, how about giving it to us? That's true. I would agree. Maybe they should do a little for the contractors. That's right. However, only healthy businesses raise their dividend. So that's good if you're looking long term. Now, another bit of news here. We'd like to introduce or announce an integration with Motive. eTruckBiz and Motive will soon be in fact, you can do it now, but Veeder units, ELDs, and more. Those of you that know how this goes, we will be able to do a ton with some of that data and you'll be able to package everything in one place. We hear that all the time. So there you go. That's coming very soon. And one more thing, don't have a cool graphic for this, but those of you that have Peak, whatever they're calling themselves today, as far as the scanner company is, used to be Peak Rizik, but I think it's just Peak now. I don't know. You can now put the eTruckBiz driver app on your Peak scanner. So to do that, you want to contact one of us to find out how that goes. Okay, but some of you out there have already done it, so very cool. All right. So over the next few weeks, we're going to take and turn our attention to where we think the future of, for sure, FedEx contracting is going. The future, and we've said this before, but now we're very sure of it. The future is going to be in multi-facility operations. Okay, some of you on here already are here, and that's good. But those of you that are not, the time has come to ask yourself the question, do you want to go? Do you want to be a multi-facility operator? Because that's where the rest of everybody else is going here in the space. So the multi-location model is clearly the trend in FedEx's Network 2.0 strategy. And there's a lot of scuttlebutt about this, and it came up again last week, and you're probably going to see something about this. We'll see, but in Orlando coming up here in a few months. Scaling your operations to multiple facilities will be the primary way to unlock additional revenue streams and overall growth in the future. So, the case for expanding. What makes growing and expanding operations desirable? So, it helps you better utilize your resources. CSPs can leverage their current systems and processes to support expansion. So you already have things in place. Many of you on here have eTruckBiz already in place that you can leverage to help you run multi-facility operations, right? The other thing is current contractor evolution. Vacancies can be filled by capable contractors already in the FedEx network. And some of you, we say this every week, but look around. Are there fewer and fewer people that you know that used to be around 6 months ago, a year ago? It's not an accident, folks. The garden's getting weeded. Revenue and margin growth. There is a significant opportunity to exponentially grow revenue and margins through expansion. The bottom line is that many already contractors have resources and capabilities to expand their businesses, and doing so can and will drive substantial financial growth. Now, there's some steps that we want to take here, right? So the first thing we want to do is optimize your current operation before you even think about scaling. So that's what a lot of you are doing right now. Right now, you're working real hard on seeing if we can get everything going like we want it, and we can create systems and processes out of what we've got already. So the next thing is build a flexible, scalable organizational structure. Now, we're not saying to hire 75 folks so you can do this, but do you have a BC that could be, let's say you've got 5 or 6 operations out there, could that BC help you run 5 or 6 or more operations? Could that BC be a region manager, if you want to call it that? Do you have drivers currently that could be BCs? Now, we've said before that these drivers don't necessarily make good BCs, but you could look there and you can recruit from your current driver ranks if that's what you want to do. Clearly plan for optimize to optimize cash flow and administrative processes, right? So you have to make money at what you're doing before you can venture out trying to run multiple facilities. And you have to have a way to administer all this, not with a separate group at every single place you branch out to, but you'd want to have one centralized way to handle administration. And then closely measure progress and make refinements along the way. As you start expanding, doesn't mean you can't continue to refine what's going on, change it, make some changes if you need to. Now, there's some challenges of scaling this business, of course. So maintaining operational control is a key challenge as the business scales, as it becomes harder to measure key performance indicators remotely. So yeah, if you've got other operations out there, you still have to watch closely what's going on in those operations, right? You still have to know what's going on in those trucks, even though those trucks could be 100, 200, 300 miles away. Another challenge is increasing operational and logistical complexity, which makes operations tougher to manage, especially from afar, as the operation right now is getting very complex. Those of you that have stepped into Network 2.0, those of you that haven't stepped in there yet, we've been talking about it for 2 years, so it's time to get ready. But you'd want to think about getting ready and whatnot in terms of scaling if that's what you want to do. So standardizing processes and systems is critical to simplifying the administrative challenge of scaling. So for instance, McDonald's makes the Big Mac the same way in every McDonald's store. Is that right, Ken? Or they make them
Yeah,
different?
absolutely. Tastes the same in Wadsworth, Ohio, as it does Waukesha, Wisconsin.
So a sandwich is a sandwich. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, just checking. Also, monitoring financial progress across multiple sites is a significant challenge that needs to be addressed. And monitoring financial progress at all is actually a challenge, but how are you going to do that across several different operations? So we'll talk about that here in a second. But even though there's challenges, there's plenty of benefits. The key benefits of building sustainable growth and revenue growth, and improve reputation, stronger profitability, and soaring enterprise value are some of the benefits. Expanding to multiple locations is the fastest way to grow revenue. You may grow revenue anyway, sustain where you're at, but not like you will if you take on other operations. Consistent service and solid systems will earn you the trust of partners like FedEx.
Can I add to that, Jeff?
Yes.
Back to one of the first things he said was getting the operations right in your current operation and then taking it off. And then you can soar that enterprise value. You can't, if your first operation is not right, you can't expand and expect your value and your profits to explode. that basically you'll find your way broke quicker if you don't have that first operation first.
Carefully managing capital requirements and recruiting, training drivers across sites will boost your profitability and enterprise value. It's another way of saying that is doing the same thing in your successful operation, just translating that to another one. I think that's what you just said, Ken. And of course, we just looked at it, but tools like AdminIQ, PerformanceIQ, and BudgetIQ can help you plan and execute your expansion strategy effectively. Now, there's some numbers that got thrown around this week, and we're going to try to get our hands around these. The future of CSPs looks incredibly promising, with many experiencing significant growth over the next 5 years. Most CSPs will be expected, notice I used the word expected, to operate out of 3 to 5 or more facilities. This growth trajectory is expected to drive an over 500% revenue increase for many CSPs. So not only would you be taking on more operations and there's revenue for doing that, but then those operations are going to grow, and then the express is coming in. This is what we were trying to say a year or more ago. This is a tremendously huge opportunity if you're willing to get in there and do this. Economies of scale will enable CSPs to reduce their enterprise operating costs by, it's estimated at 12%, while administrative cost savings reach 20%. Key to the scalability will be the adoption of advanced eTruckBiz business support systems, tools, and expense management systems. That's what we'd like to show you if you can book a session with Becca. Expense management tools like those contained in the BudgetIQ program will enable this type of growth. So it's one thing, you got your current operation and you know what's going on, what the payroll is, you know what you're going to spend on fuel, that's fantastic with one operation. Everybody's the same. Try that with 2. Try that with 3 or 4. Try that with 5 or 6. Becomes very difficult, and you got to start managing by the numbers and really what's going on instead of what you think might be going on. Okay, so the bottom line is, are you ready for empire, we'll call it, scale? This is a pivotal moment. An incredible opportunity is right in front of you to build an empire and scale your business as a FedEx contractor. The key is leveraging systems that'll let you do that and to create the infrastructure and capabilities needed to scale your operation, right? Start by carefully assessing your current business, lay out a clear roadmap to get to the next level. With the right systems and planning in place, you can secure your place in the growing FedEx Ground network and experience exponential growth. The potential is massive, but you need to act now to capitalize on it. It really is a once in a lifetime opportunity. If you want to grow something this big and you want to have something very substantial, here's your chance. You just have to decide you're going to do it. Okay, Mr. Ken, let's see if we have any
Yeah, we
questions.
got, it says, how do you get enterprise operating cost reduction by operating in additional or different facilities?
Because it's called economies of scale. Go ahead, Ken.
Yeah, your admin costs are going to be spread across 2 operations. Yes, you're going to have a BC in each operation, but you're not going to have all the back office functions that go along with it and the individuals to go along with it. So to me, that's how it scales. And especially if you're utilizing the ETB VSS system, because it's going to really help you not have to add headcount. So then we're we are scaling those operations for you and those admin costs.
So an example could be you train at your home facility. So let's say you bring a new driver in instead of having different trainers or doing whatever you do to train. Maybe you just train at your home facility is you bring 2 or 3 people in at once and train them. That way they don't go out to other operations and kill your productivity in those operations while they're training.
Yeah, that's a great way to look at it. So if you've got one dynamic trainer, put everybody through there and you're only dropping the productivity in that operation while your other one continues to operate smoothly. And you're not training area knowledge, you're training methods and safety. So think of that. Area knowledge will come, especially with turn by turns and everything else. Area knowledge becomes overrated with turn by turns and technology today, even in the rural areas. Let me see if we got any other questions. I said, I just want to reiterate what Jeff says. a tremendous opportunity is staring you in the face because there's going to be these open CSAs and they're going to want existing CSPs to fill them. So now is the time, if you've only got one CSP, put the system and processes in place in that one, get it running extremely smooth, and then say, hey, let's go. Time to grow. Got another one. We're all business people and need to balance risk versus reward. These are capital intense businesses requiring a 3 to 5 year investment horizon. Given the tenuousness of FedEx contract right now, how do you rationalize investment for significant expansion? I think Kerry can back this up. The length of these Network 2.0 contracts lately have gone from 100 up to, was one 115 weeks, Kerry?
Right. One was almost 3 years. Yeah.
Okay. Anything you want to add to that, Jeff?
No, no, I mean that's exactly it. Like the contracts look to be getting longer, which is good. And yeah, you need to balance risk reward, but one of a lot of the risk, if you want to look at it that way, the risk is can you perform? The risk isn't will the business go away tomorrow? I don't think FedEx is going anywhere. People say, well, Amazon's gonna buy FedEx. No, that could have happened a long time ago when FedEx was a hell of a lot cheaper. So that's not happening.
Yeah. So yeah, there is risk, as Jeff says, in your operations. Put the basics in place and good things will happen. And the length of these contracts are expanding, although there's some short ones right now, but those short ones are indicators that Network 2.0 is coming to you sooner than you expected. So I think we've seen some as short as 33, 34 weeks and said up to 115 weeks. I think that will ease some of that risk, but is it still capital intensive to expand? Absolutely. Can you pay for that new truck? Absolutely, especially if you're upgrading a P700 to a P1200. All you got to do is put in another extra 20 stops a week to make that extra payment. 20 stops a day. I'm sorry, and it'll definitely hold it. So makes
So
life
Ken,
easier.
over the next several weeks, we're going to try to break down the different issues there are with, and this is one of them, is how are you going to afford this? But we're going to try to break down some of the different issues for the next several weeks because it's a really big topic. And I know there's not a lot of questions and whatnot today, and some of you are probably saying, ah, that's not going to happen. Any of you that have been around a long time know that for the most part, we usually call it pretty close to what ends up happening. So this is coming. You just have to, like we said, and maybe you decide, hey, this isn't for me. I don't want 10 operations. I mean, some are going to have that. Some have already had that. And of course, we know they scaled that back. But the way it's going to happen is you're going to have a certain size. You're not going to be too big in several different operations. I think for the most part, they figured out that's the way it's going to go here.
Says, thanks. We are spring of 2026 2.0 terminal. They think, I see broad opportunity. Good, it's there. Just so many unknowns right now. Yes,
Yeah.
that as well. Unlikely we're going to be able to keep, unlikely we're going to be able to keep our current zip codes given FedEx Ground Express expected cut lines. The majority of contracts we see, there are changes to the CSA. I would say at least 90% of them have changed, if not more. Some for the good. I think I've only seen one that was slightly unfavorable. The rest have been for the good. Do they take adjustments? Some downsizing, some significant increases. We saw one right now that is basically tripling their volume. And that's significant. And James, as you said, a significant capital investment. But at the same time, he's going to be given the opportunity to become much more efficient. And I think that efficiency should equate to more profitability as well. Very good questions. Not a lot of them today, but some very good questions, that's for
Hey,
sure.
Ken, I don't know if we should do this, but Santiago has his hand up. and I don't know. I'm gonna take a shot at. Oh, whoops. Let's see what happened.
You're fine.
What?
Did you get it or not?
Oh, wait a minute. I don't know. I blew it, I think.
Oh, I said sorry. He didn't mean to raise his hand.
Oh, all right. You could have. That would have been fun. Let's see if I can turn your microphone on. Anyways.
Come on, somebody challenge Jeff to turn the microphone on.
Yeah. Woof.
All righty. It looks like that's all the questions for today. We are trying to keep these. Oh, wait, hold on. We have another one. Does anyone know if pickups are factored into efficiency? Absolutely, they are. Should they be different than ground deliveries? Yes, but right now with the Network 2.0 package, they're just telling you how many stops per dispatch there are. But yeah, the pickups definitely take more time than delivery stops. And Dave, that would be something I would also ask your district engineer. They might be able to tell you what the standard times are for a delivery stop, both residential and a business stop, as well as what a pickup stop is. And then, of course, the number of packages always impacts that as well. If you're picking up 5 packages, not going to take that long. If you're picking up 150 packages that weigh 30 pounds each, it's going to take you a little bit of time and a lot of sweat. I hope that answers that. All righty. I think we've got them all done now. We will be back here again next Tuesday. Go ahead.
Hey, sorry about that. Hey, real quick, this morning I was working on one of the clients that's in the OPP program, and we looking at putting in a large package route in the morning, 8 to 1, and then 1 in the afternoon, where they come back to the terminal, load up, and then go out and deliver, and then they can help with pickups. I was 2 off of the informed optimal, but the efficiency was right there with the informed optimal. Not sure how, not sure why, still trying to figure it all out, but I found that very interesting. But I'll keep you guys posted.
That's a great point. And that gets back to having different types of drivers, recruiting different types of drivers, and different types of dispatches. And what you're doing, you're probably double utilizing a truck. There is some extra fuel being used, yes, but if you're paying hourly, you don't have people sitting out there for 2 or 3 hours waiting for pickups. And you're coming back to get some of that bulk. So I think, and as Bob says, you got people available then for pickups, because some of those pickup windows do get tight. So good point there, Bob. Late to the party, but still a good point. So with that, we will be back here next Tuesday and look forward to talking to everybody then. If we do not talk to you before that, please have a safe and profitable week. Thank you very much.